As mentioned in the earlier videos, under the project document lifecycle management, numerous business processes related to project handover and document clearance can be automated simultaneously. One such business process is the request for inspection. Let's look at the flowchart. Here, as you can see, during the completion of the construction contracts, the project implementing team, which includes the contractor, supervision consultant and project department, are required to complete the inspection with the Public Works Authority operation and maintenance departments such as roads operation and maintenance and drainage operation and maintenance department. Typically, the handover is carried out in two different stages. They are practical completion stage and final completion stage. The final completion stage is also referred to as the maintenance period. Inspections are carried out during the stage of handover. The main purpose is that the respective operation and maintenance department need to verify that the implemented projects and their respective assets are operable and whether the contractor has adhered with all quality standards mentioned in the contract. This is an important step before the operation and maintenance department takes over the assets for operation and further opens for public use. To make the process seem simpler, let us take a tour of the request for inspection process. Here, let us view the business process in the form of a flowchart. This flowchart represents the beginning of a business process. Each box displays the concerned person and their roles in the process. This flowchart highlights the order in which the business process moves from one concerned reviewer to another. The request for inspection process begins with the contractor and then moves on to each of the other concerned personnel as shown in this flowchart. Starting from the role of the contractor up to the concerned department handover coordinator, can be classified as the project implementing team. The concerned project engineer and the concerned department handover coordinator are both part of the project affairs of Public Works Authority. Let us look at the next part, that is from the operation and maintenance handover coordinator till the last box displayed on the flowchart, which can be categorized as the operation and maintenance team. Here, the asset affairs of the Public Works Authority are in charge of the operation and maintenance. In fact, they determine and are responsible to decide and finalize on whether the roads are fit to be used by the public. Let us take a closer look at each of these concerned personnel and their roles. Please note that the supervision consultant's role is that of an optional one, as certain projects will be managed by the actual concerned department itself. The concerned department handover coordinator's role is also optional. For certain projects, the concerned department project engineer will take this role as part of the handover activity. Moving further, let us learn how to initiate a request for inspection process. Let us consider a scenario wherein an external contractor initiates the request through the supervision consultant, who in turn moves the request to the concerned project engineer, who finally presents it to the concerned department handover coordinator, who then verifies the same and submits it to the operation and maintenance handover coordinator. What we have now looked at is a positive scenario. At any stage the request can be rejected or returned to the contractor by each of the other concerned personnel if it does not correlate with the mandatory requirements. Moving on to the next part, the operation and maintenance coordinator is responsible for any request received. They are the ones who are responsible in moving forward the request and ensuring that each of the other concerned personnel fulfill their duties. Here, the handover coordinator moves the request received to the asset focal point and from there on to the operation and maintenance asset engineer, who then decides the inspection date along with the asset focal point and informs all the stakeholders to be present on the project site to conduct the inspection and prepare the inspection summary report. Once that is set, they conduct an inspection and prepare the required inspection summary report. As you can clearly see, from the operation and maintenance asset engineer, the request then moves through the asset focal point, which in turn moves to the operation and maintenance section head, who then along with the asset engineer, if satisfied with the process, approves and signs the inspection summary report. Note that, once this process is completed, the operation and maintenance handover coordinator notifies the users that the inspection summary report has been issued. In the following video, we will demonstrate how to raise an online request for project inspection. As you may have understood, the process begins with the contractor. A registered contractor needs to log in to the project document lifecycle management interface management application using his respective username and password. To access the projects, you need to click on the projects menu. This will list all the projects you have been entitled with. The project will take you to the video of project ZPO176CT. This is the project code, in which we will be elaborating the details on how to go about it. To begin with, the contractor can understand the minimum set of documents required to initiate a request for inspection submission by expanding the project code from the menu and selecting Form option in the submenu. This will display the project handover main checklist. Here let us take an example of initiating a request for inspection submission with Roads Operation and Maintenance Department. As displayed here, the matrix will show the total inspection performed and its status color-coded, with orange for in progress, and green for completed. To understand the required documents to be submitted for inspection, you should select the HDR button, which stands for Handover Deliverables. Here, as you can see, under the Stakeholder option, you have to select the option Roads Operation and Maintenance. The asset listed in this drop-down will be the list of asset types as per the scope of work. For our example, let's choose Roads Asset Type, hence the document checklist will be displayed related to Roads Asset. Under the main section, you can click this option and the documents will be sorted, and those applicable to you will be displayed on top. As you can see, it is the first three, namely most recent, consultant snag list, shop drawings, and layout drawings. As it is clearly stated here, these three documents are the ones that are required for the Roads Operation and Maintenance Department Practical Completion Stage inspection. You have to keep these documents ready in folders to fulfill the requirements for the request for inspection submission under the Interface Management application. Moving on, you should now select the Workflow option, then the Request for Submission Request option, and click on the New Request option. Here, you are required to fill in the necessary details relatable to your request and click Create. This will create a new entry for you. Also, note not to populate the reference request number, as it will be automatically generated by the Project Development Lifecycle Management System. As you can see, a new entry has been created and a new reference number has also been generated by the Project Development Lifecycle Management System. This number has been generated in such a manner that it includes a combination of 5 attributes: the project code, the submission type, the originator, the handover stage, and the unique system auto-generated sequence number is the new reference number that has been assigned for this new request submitted by you. See here that it is still in the stage of drafting. You have to click on this Upload button, select your documents and simply drag and drop it to this pop-up window. When this is being done, it is to be noted that it will first be displayed as copy. The tooltip has to be changed from copy to send, and only once this is done, the files should be dropped or released. Please take a closer look at this, as it might seem to be sent but only copied. So, don't forget that you have to select your folders, drag, change the tooltip from copy to send, and then only release it. Another way of uploading the document is that you can click on the folder icon and browse the files and upload them from your computer or system. It is to be noted that the upload message by the application is not an error message but an information that the documents have been offloaded to SMFD, and you can view the successful message over the SMFD application. You can now monitor this from the client. It can be viewed on this status bar that the documents you have submitted are being uploaded one by one to the server. This particular application is a client application. When you upload these documents, the OpenText Secure MFD Transfer Manager will push the documents to this particular folder. As you can see, these folders from your system through this web application are being uploaded to the server. As you can see, all of these have been uploaded. It will be displayed as transferred here. You can click on this link to verify if all the documents are there. In this scenario, 12 documents in total under 3 folders have been uploaded here. Moving on, you have to click on the Request for Inspection Submission under the Workflow option again. Expand it and click on Submit. The uploading process has been done. You have to confirm that the checklist has been verified and the document deliverable requirements are fulfilled, and then confirm the same as shown here. Once it is confirmed, you will receive a notification stating that your request has been submitted. So, this process shows that the request for inspection submission has been completed from the contractor's end. As visible here, the status has been changed to submitted. You can go to the audit option and verify. Now it has moved from the contractor to the supervision consultant. See that this step is completed, and the arrow denotes that it is an ongoing or in progress step. Let's look at the color coordinated flow chart here. Since the contractor has submitted the request for inspection submission from his end, his box has become green, and since the supervision consultant step is in progress at the moment, he is represented by the color orange. As explained in the previous video, the contractor is also part of the project implementing team. Now, in this video let's move on to the rest of the team. To begin with, the supervision consultant is also an external party. As a supervision consultant, you should also log in on the interface management application with your respective login ID and password. Once the contractor's part has been cleared, you, as a supervision consultant, will receive an email notification. Note that, each time a new task is assigned, the user, in this case, the supervision consultant, will receive a notification. In this case, a new submission has been received so that you can act on it. You can simply log into the interface management application, select the project that has come up for you to work on, which is displayed under the My Assignments icon. All the tasks relating to you as a supervision consultant will be displayed here. As you can see, there are completed tasks, tasks in progress and new tasks. In this case, the new Public Works Authority request reference number is this number, and you may click on this to view the practical completion stage request for inspection submission. As displayed herein, it will be sent to a group. That is, this task has been assigned to a group of users. Not all users can act on one request. Within this group, any one member can claim this task so that he can act or work on this request. You can accept the request and begin. Whoever opens and accepts the request for inspection submission will be the one claiming the work. This box displays the indication that shows that you are willing to undertake this submission and work on it. As you accept the same, the details in relation to the same will be displayed on the screen. The details relating to the inspection, the documents the contractor has uploaded, the folders and the items under the folders can be accessed here. You can now review these uploaded documents. Here are the layout documents, shop drawings, etc. You, as a supervision consultant, have to view these documents and verify them for inspection. As a supervision consultant, you have to ensure that the contractor has uploaded all the relevant documents. Your main purpose is to ensure that all documents that go into the roads operation and maintenance department are valid ones. As a supervision consultant, you should verify these documents one by one. Once you accept and open the request, it moves on to the in progress stage as opposed to the new stage. As shown here, at the bottom of the page, you can send on or reject the request based on the authenticity of the documents uploaded by the contractor. If you click on the Send On option, the request will move to the next stage. Whereas if you click on the Reject option, the request will be rejected from your end and it will be sent back to the contractor who initiated the request. For the purpose of our workflow and taking into consideration that this is a positive scenario, you can click on the Send On option and the request will move from your end to the Public Works Authority project engineer. Now, the request has moved from the in progress stage to the completed stage. You can also view as to whom the request has been moved to, as well as details such as the date on which you have received the request, start date, that is, the date on which you started working on the contractor's request, and the completed date. Now you can see from the action audit that the request has been completed from the end of both the contractor and the supervision consultant, and the supervision consultant is this particular user. As displayed here, it has moved on to the project engineer. You can click on this small face icon to view who the project engineer to whom this request has been assigned to. Let's take a closer look at these two face icons. These two face icons represent that it is a group step. That is, this task has come to a group of users. By clicking on these icons you can view the list of users to whom this has been assigned to. As you may have understood, ultimately, one of the users will claim the task. And whoever has done so, their name will be displayed or recorded here. All these details are available at your perusal under this audit action. Let's log out and go back to our flow chart. As you can see, the request has been submitted to the concerned project engineer. This screen here displays the internally used project development lifecycle management system, where the project engineer has to log in with his credential details. In the dashboard titled My Tasks, the project engineer can view his tasks. In this case, the project engineer has 71 novice tasks. Expanding the My Tasks option will showcase the project engineer's new tasks, in-progress tasks, as well as the tasks completed by him. Under the new tasks as a project engineer, you can select the Public Works Authority referenced number INS0004, which we have been dealing with since the inception of this video to cite as an example. The details such as the date and time on which the request has been received is displayed here. Once you select the audit action, You can view details such as what actions the supervision consultant has taken. As a project engineer, you can open the task and accept the task as it is a group step. As mentioned earlier, all the users listed as project engineers are open to select this. But the task will be officially assigned to the one who selects this project and confirms to work on it. As the project engineer, you can now view the documents that the contractor has uploaded under the practical completion stage request for inspection. The decision now lays with you. If you are satisfied that the verification made by the supervision consultant is satisfactory, you can simply accept the request and forward it to the next user. You can select the task under My Tasks under the In Progress section and choose to click on Send On. Now the request has moved from your end. Coming back to our flowchart, you can see that the request has now come before the concerned department handover coordinator. The same procedure of that of the project engineer is to be followed by the concerned department handover coordinator. As a concerned department handover coordinator, you just merely need to cross-check the verification made by the project engineer. Once you have reviewed the same, you just need to give your comment, click on the Send On option and move the request from your part. All the details with regard to this request can be found under the audit action. In our flowchart, you can see that the first 4 boxes have become green. This indicates that the request has moved successfully from these entities to the Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator. With this, the internal review within the concerned department completes and will be routed to the Operation and Maintenance Department. The first party from the Operation and Maintenance Department to receive the request is the Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator, who will facilitate assigning the task to the right stakeholder within the department who will further act on it. In the last 2 videos, we have understood how a request for inspection process moves from the contractor to the concerned department handover coordinator. Let us now see how it should move from the Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator to the rest of the Operation and Maintenance Department. As an Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator, you have to log in with your login credentials. Move to My Tasks and accept the task. Under this Public Works Authority reference number, you are bound to assign the focal point right below the Asset option under the Asset Details heading. As an Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator, you should enter the username and select the correct user. Then you may send on with your comments to the next user, in this case, the Asset focal point, and ask them to review the request and take further necessary steps from there on. Note that now the request has been forwarded to the Asset focal point. As the concerned Asset focal point user, you need to log in with your credentials on the project, that is, to assign or add the Roads Operation and Maintenance Department Asset Inspector and the Roads Operation and Maintenance Department Asset Section Head. Keep in mind that the Asset Inspector is the key person who will implement the inspection. These 3, namely Asset Focal Point, Asset Inspector and Asset Section Head, are part of a team. The latter 2 report to the Asset Focal Point. There will be many requests for inspections that come up for review and conduct every week. The Asset Focal Point plays a pivotal role in assigning the tasks respectively to the team. This is the main duty of the Asset Focal Point. There will obviously be at least 5 inspectors, but for argument's sake, let's say 4 of them are involved in other work. The Asset Focal Point has to find out and choose the correct person for this task to be assigned to. The Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator will ensure that the Asset Focal Point of roads has been assigned with tasks related to roads, and that Asset Focal Point related to drainage will be assigned with tasks related to drainages, etc. There are various Asset Focal Point sections to be assigned to, and all this is being sent over to the right Asset Focal Point section by the Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator, and that of the concerned Asset Focal Point section to the concerned inspectors. The Asset Focal Point also reviews the documents if necessary. Under the Add User for Inspections heading, as the concerned Asset Focal Point person, you can assign the relevant users as displayed here. Post that, you can click on Send On with your reviews. As you may have now understood, the next user is the Asset Inspector. Look at our flowchart. The request is now before the Operation and Maintenance Asset Inspector or Engineer. As an Operation and Maintenance Asset Inspector, you will receive the task and will be able to view the details with regard to the same once you log in with your credentials. Under the My Tasks option, you will be able to view this page. Under this Add Inspection Details, these fields are to be filled by the Asset Engineer or Inspector. This is the vital duty of the asset engineer. Check this option here with an asterisk, conduct site inspection. This call can be made by the asset engineer. In some requests, the contractor will attach photographs of the site as part of his supporting documents. So, in some cases, site inspection is not required. In that case, the date of inspection also need not be filled. But in this particular scenario, let's assume that site inspection is required. The asset inspector can set a future inspection date and time to which the site inspection will be carried out. The options below are to be filled in later. Because the details of the date and time of inspection will be informed to all the users from the contractor up to the asset focal point, and they will all have to be present while the inspection is being conducted. Once that is done, the asset engineer can fill in the details asked, such as number of major snags, minor snags, status code, etc. The task will be pending with the asset engineer until the site inspection handover coordinator to send the invitations to the other users. Let us log in as the operation and maintenance handover coordinator. As you can see, here, the required details are filled in, and accordingly the operation and maintenance coordinator, in consultation with the asset engineer, should send the invitation via email specifying the details such as date, time, location or project site of the inspection to all the users. This is the main task the operation and maintenance handover coordinator is vested with. If he wants to add any additional users in the invitation list, it can be done in this manner as shown here. As the operation and maintenance handover coordinator, you are vested with the duty of filling up the invitation details. He should send out an email to each concerned personnel in the recipient list, to be present at the site for the inspection. The invitation will be sent to all the relevant parties, and the task is created to accept or reject the invitation through the PDLM system. The rest of the process occurs after that. Based on the request, the team will inspect the project site, and once that is completed, the asset engineer needs to prepare the inspection summary report with all the captured snags and complete the workflow from the asset engineer's end. Now, as you can see, the operation and maintenance asset engineer is required to log into the project development lifecycle management system. The asset engineer can find the inspection summary report here as an additional folder on the topmost right corner. Once you open the folder, you can see an inspection summary report template with an edit option displayed once you run the mouse over it. Look at the pencil icon here. Once you click on it, it will open this document as a Word document. This is the inspection summary report, which displays the details such as the project name and project ID. The required details such as the number of snags, grade, etc. should be filled in by the asset engineer. This right here is the summary of the report. This is where the photographs of the project site will be shared. In case of any issues such as health and safety or not properly executed, those details come here. This report should then be saved and closed by the asset engineer, and it will automatically be recorded and reflected here. To confirm that it has been saved, the asset engineer should select this document and move to the information icon, under which there will be an option named Properties, and then select this option Versions, under which the asset engineer can find the latest version of the document, which is recorded with the asset engineer's name. When you click on the document, it will open as a preview encompassing all the changes that have been made. Let us take a look at it. Once this step is completed by the asset engineer, he should move to the Asset Details heading and fill in all the unfilled, required information, such as number of minor and major snags, the status code, etc. This is the final step that the asset engineer has to perform. Once this is done, he should select the Send On option and add his comments and send the request from his end to the concerned asset focal point. Let us see what happens thereafter. As the concerned asset focal point, you will receive an email notification from the asset engineer, and a new task will be displayed on your screen. Under the audit action, all the history, updates and details will be displayed at length, but only once they complete and approve this workflow. The asset focal point should now approve the request once they are satisfied with the documents. The asset focal point should click on Send On, mention their comments and submit. As understood from our flowchart, the request is now at the disposal of the Operation and Maintenance section head, displayed and color-coded as orange or in progress stage. The main duty of the Roads Operation and Maintenance Department section head is that he should approve and sign the inspection summary report. Let's log in as the section head and select the task from the new option. An additional feature that you will notice here is that, the Activities option on the topmost right corner. This is where all the actions that have been taken by all the previous users are displayed. The section head should verify the inspection summary report once he is clear and satisfied with all the details in the report. He should go ahead and approve the request from his end by adding his comments. We have now arrived at the last and final step of the request. That is, the approved information now lies before the Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator. The Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator should now inform the information to the requesters such as the contractor, supervisor consultant, the project engineers, etc. Let us show you how he completes his task. The Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator opens his new task, accepts the group task. He should then open and expand the inspection summary report. Note that the Word document has been automatically converted to a PDF document and a unique barcode number has been assigned to the document. Only once the approval is received, a barcode number will be assigned to an inspection summary report. Once the Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator clicks on the PDF document and opens it, he should be able to see that the barcode number mentioned on the name of the document is the same as the barcode number of the document displayed on the top of the document. The date and time will also be displayed. See. All such details will be present only on an approved inspection summary report. The approved inspection summary report barcodes and electronic signatures are mandatory to avoid any kind of confusion that may arise, especially with the contractors. If the Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator checks the audit action after the approval step, the relevant details relating to the project in the attachments can be found here. This can be checked by all the users starting from the contractor up to the Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator. If you may have noticed, previously, this information was not updated, only after the approval. This can be viewed from this section. But after the approval it is made visible to all the stakeholders and they can download the required information by logging in this project that they shall now download the report and take the necessary actions required. In this case, as we saw, since there are 5 major snags, a re-inspection will be pushed by the Operation and Maintenance Handover Coordinator. The request should be closed by the second cycle of re-inspection. The snags should not be present. Only then the inspection for roads will be considered as completed. Let us come back to our flow chart. See here, as all our steps have been completed, all the boxes have been color-coded as green. All the stakeholders involved with this project would have received a notification. Now, let us log in as the contractor on the Interface Management application. Under My Assignments, the contractor can select this particular task. Notice that he can view and download this attachment and view the inspection summary report from the audit action. After having a detailed understanding of the issues, the contractor should progress to fix the issues such as snags in this case. After this, the contractor can request for a re-inspection. The contractor is bound to record his response under this contractor's response column and rectify his mistakes and submit the proof for the same in the form of photographs. He should then move this request to the supervision consultant and the whole cycle is repeated. In some cases, the authorities will decide that site inspection is not required if they are satisfied with the rectification evidence photographs submitted by the contractor. This decision mostly rests with the asset engineer.